After the emotion, I guess, of the Philadelphia game, I mean, it would be understandable if a team might have a little bit of a hangover. Do you think it's positive that you're playing a rival just in terms of getting everybody's mind back realigned, or do you figure desperation just comes from where you are in the standings and it won't really matter?
Well, we'll see. Those are questions that are easier to answer afterwards. But I hope that our guys are locked in and feel a sense of desperation and a sense of opportunity. Finally we have some, most of our guys back in the lineup. So I think to have that kind of opportunity to play and to play together and to have a more fully formed team should be exciting for our guys. And although it was an emotional win on Thursday night, hopefully they've had some time to move past it and prepare for today's game.
Coach, this is going to be the first game that obviously Kyrie is allowed to enter Barclays this season, but he's not able to actually play, even though he can sit, I would assume, on the bench. Have you gotten any clarity on why that is, that he can enter the building and sit a couple feet from the court, but not take a couple steps onto the court and play?
No.
Does it make sense to you at all?
I'm just going to stay out of it. I don't want to wade into an area that I'm not an expert in.
To follow up, is he here today?
I haven't seen him yet, but I believe he's coming.
And then just the way it's shaping up, you're kind of looking to go into the playoffs without, a lot of reps games with your new big three, quote unquote. It's similar to last year. I mean, is there anything you can take from how you handled that last season to this year, given the changes in personnel, schedule, et cetera? It's just two different animals.
I think you could make analogies to both to that. Yeah, we've been through situations like this that aren't straightforward. And at the same time, this is a new situation. So it's really impossible to mimic or to say we've been through it exactly before. But we can't worry about what we don't have, haven't had, will not have. We're not going to have 30, 40, 50 games together, let alone 4 or 5 years together. So we can't worry about that. We can't, be self-defeatist in our approach there. We have to be positive and resolute, and we're worrying about what we can do, what we're doing to be the best we can be, not only the last 15, 16 games, but also in the playoffs. And that's our mission. It's not to worry about all the other things.
Steve, sorry, just to clarify, you said Kyrie might be here. You expect him to be here just in the crowd, right?
Yeah.
And also with RJ Barrett, your godson, obviously, from a coaching perspective, is it different now the way you game plan for him than maybe you did like last year or even the first game, given how he's playing?
I don't think that we changed the game plan. He's just a better player. It's not like he's just, I think, grown. He's more efficient at everything he does, but I don't think it changes what he does. He's just better at it. So I think the game plan probably is similar, but it's you're dealing with a player that's continually improving, reaching new heights.
Has it gotten any easier or harder, when you come home now and you don't have him, than it was in January when we didn't know how long this might last, and now you're kind of feeling like it's getting close and it still hasn't happened?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think we try not to. We've been let down by this process a lot of times, in a sense, like we're hoping and wanting him to be able to return. So we have not really, I think, put ourselves in a position to think it's happening for sure. We just keep proceeding with the tasks that we can control. It's getting better every day. And obviously we wish he was back yesterday, but the reality is we'll only focus on what we can control.
Kind of piggybacking up on that, you look at the schedule, I think Kyrie's only available for 4 of the last 15 games. And you guys obviously enjoyed having him on the floor. I know you can't replace him on the floor, but how do you compensate for him not being in the lineup when you guys need to win as many of these games as possible?
Well, you can't replace him, so you can't really. It's not a linear equation. You try to play at a high level when he's not here by being more disciplined, maybe more scripted. Maybe we try to win slightly different ways than the talent that he provides us, and that's just the nature of it. We've navigated that now for 2 seasons. Different guys being in and out of the lineup and trying to find ways to play regardless of who was out there. And we've had a lot of success when we've been missing guys. We've also had some struggles recently where we've missed a lot of guys. So we've kind of seen it all, and we just try to continue to get better and stay together.
Steve, what's the plan for Ben this week?
Just continue to rehab, continue to strengthen his back and all those areas, and that he can continue to progress on the floor.
What is the next step for him right now?
Rehab and, just strengthen his back and continue to get more mobility and more dynamic movement every day.
With Kyrie, just from a stamina perspective, when he's on the court, is he missing anything at this point? I mean, you watch him play, it doesn't seem like it, but from your perspective, does he get winded early?
I think his conditioning has improved in the last couple of weeks. I think it was difficult for a while there when, he's coming back to basketball with very little in the way of 5-on-5 action. That's difficult. Very few players can handle it the way he does, but I still think although he could handle it, he wasn't himself. He's still impossible to be a fully formed version of yourself when you don't have that, kind of preseason and the amount of games it takes to really get yourself going. So he was in a really unique situation that he handled very well, but it's impossible to be at your top. I think in the last 2 weeks, we've had quite a few road games. I think he's gotten in a position where his conditioning's improved. Yeah, I mean, if he isn't able to play the rest of the regular season, we'll have to find ways to get him conditioned, because it's not, it's not like you can take a week off every other week and stay at that level. So there's no substitute for playing the game. You can do a lot of conditioning and stuff, but you really can't simulate the game without playing.